Hi everyone, welcome to Forwards. Thanks for watching the video. We're going to give you a tour today of the Forwards 1 road bike. This is actually set up for me, so this is the original concept bike and this is the one that I use. So this is a Forwards 1 GRX Di2 classified model, and it's got power meter and all of the trimmings that you'd expect it to have. So it is the top of the range version of the bike. I'll give you a tour from top to bottom. I will try and keep the video short as I can. I do waffle on. The last video ended up being quite long, so let's just get into it, and then we'll see how we get on with time. So first of all, paintwork wise, all of the ones are painted here in the UK. This one's painted by UI Customs, Stuart there. As anyone will know who's watched the videos before, they'll know how much I like his work, which is why we use him. This is finished in a cherry red metallic, so the paintwork is absolutely insane. The video isn't really picking up how nice it is in the real world, but it's doing the best it can. The graphics on the bike are finished in iridescent. I'll try and zoom in there so you can see it. And the graphics are all stenciled on. So they're not stickers, it's actually stenciled. So you have one on the top there. And then there is a reason we called it one, which I'll cover in a second. It's fairly obvious anyway. And it is because they all have one chainring. So that's why it's that. So one on the top tube, Forwards on the down tube, the little Union Jack on the back of the seat tube there, all stenciled, and then the production number on the inside there. And if you can see, that one says 5.1, and that's because this is a concept bike and it's the second time it's been painted. So this was the original RD21 bike that we were developing, and then we took a different direction with it and then relaunched it into the 1x version of the bike, which is more in keeping with our gravel background and stuff. So I'll give you a tour from the handlebars down. It's got a pro finishing kit. So all versions of the bike will be finished in the Pro Vibe range. The top of the line version, which is what this is, has the Pro Vibe carbon stem. And then my particular bike here is running a 110 stem. And then we've got the Pro Vibe Aero super light handlebars on it. So it's the top of the range Vibe handlebars, and then the super light version of that. They have a zero flare on it, so no flare. And then we have our own integrated stem mount as well. So this particular stem, as you can see, the bolts mount from underneath, so it's really hard to get a computer bracket. And also you've got no space here to fit a bracket, and the edge narrow version that they sell still doesn't fit in that gap, it's too small. So we've had to source this ourselves, and then we sell these. This is available for a Wahoo or for Garmin, but this is actually the Garmin one. So that's that. That's on the front of it. It's a bar tape, it's a standard bar tape we use, and this is finished in a 2mm bar tape. It is exactly the same as we use on the gravel tape, but just the narrower version. Finished in figure of 8 around the hoods, and then finished with the end tape at the end there as well. The junction box is mounted in the frame actually. I was going to go to the end of the handlebar, but of course it's down there, so we'll come back to that in a minute to show you the frame details. So this bike, one of the fun things to upset the market a little bit. So our road bike has a GRX group set on it. So it's got the GRX Di2 group set, where it's a 1x, and it means that we can have the clutch rear mech as well. So same as all my bikes, this is set up with The shifters working the same on the left hand side to the right hand side, and that's so that when you're feeding you can sort of ride one-handed with eating food and then still change gear either way around. So that's how that's done. We have opted not to do fully integrated. This frame does take fully integrated, and I do have the integrated version of the fork, which is just here on the display. So this is the integrated version, where the hose would come out of the center of the steerer. But we don't use that because I wanted it to be easily serviceable for the end user. So I want to be able to get into the headset and change the headset bearings without having to strip it all down and take all the hoses out. So it was actually a design decision to not go integrated, because the frames do take integration. So we have the single Di2 cable going back into the frame, heat shrunk into the hose. So that's neatly heat shrunk in there. And then you've got the other brake line, obviously the front brake line just popping down there. So from the front, it's pretty clean, just with those. I'll get it to focus in, sorry. So it's got those two cables there. So it looks pretty tidy, but it does mean that it's super easy to maintain. So that's the top. So fitted with FSA headsets. So it's the FSA headset 1.5, 1.5, and then we use the standard sort of forwards 10mm chimney at the top there, all carbon spaces. But that gives us the steerer going all the way through the stem there for strength there, so you're not crushing the end of the steerer. So that's that. We'll do top to bottom, I think, on this one. Be a bit different. So stealth saddle. Everyone who's watching the videos know I love these, which is why we stock and fit these now. We have these available in 2 different sizes, and we measure you up for the bike build. I'm using the small medium if anyone cares. So that's that. Standard 180 gram seat posts that we fit. We can't get anything that's comparable for anything like the price, so we want those to stay on there because they're really good quality seat posts. Really nice adjustment for the saddle. So that's that. Little details, like it has the finishing cap there to cover up the clamp there, or the integrated clamp. So it has the little rubber cover, which is really nice. And then talking about the frame integration and stuff, we have the Di2 junction box mounted into the frame. So this would be where you go in with USB to charge it up, and then that's your control button for doing adjustments and stuff. So I run two bottle cages on it, so the Custom Race Plus and the Stealth Black. So front and rear ones of those, and then you're probably bored of me saying now, but stainless steel bolts everywhere. And then on the bottle cages we use lock-in washers as well. So it's got lock-in washer and a standard washer. So standard washer to protect the cage, lock-in washer to stop it shaking loose. Of course, when you've got the weight of the bottle there, it does do that. So we have those on there. That's all standard. I'll give you well, actually I'll just show you the protection on the frame. So on this particular frame, we do run protection down the down tube there. You might be able to just see the line next to the forwards writing. So I do have that on there. James doesn't have it on his. I will try and convince him, but mine does have it, and we would recommend for customers to have it to protect the paint, because Stuart would get upset if we chip it. Then it has the chainstay protection, extended protection on the back, and then I have little pieces on the side of mine for heel protection, just on the edge there. Just get the camera to zoom back in again. So that sort of covers that. I will come back to the guide and stuff in a minute. So let's just talk about the group set. So it's got the GRX 1x group set, but it is paired with the insanely cool Classified system. So this was the main thing that opened up this bike to just be absolutely perfect for us. So we originally launched it, which it is shown on the website, as a 1x system. So 1x road bike with wide ratio block is what we had on it. So we had an 1142 rear block with the 42 front chainring, still with a power meter and stuff. But the stepping was a bit of an issue on a road bike between the gears, and also the top end was really noticeable with a smaller tyre over a gravel bike. So then we went back and partnered with Classified, and that's now just made the whole concept of the one perfect in our eyes, really. So I'll cover off Classified quickly here, but we'll probably do a proper Classified video separately, and then we'll tell you all about the technology and stuff. So this one and all the one Classifieds would have the chainring of your choice. So all of them have rotor power meters, rotor cranks with a power meter option. So mine is running the rotor Aldo cranks with the Inspider power meter, with an aero disc, and then with a 50 front chainring. So the 50 front chainring is giving us the same as you'd get on a compact. So a compact chain set on a road bike would be a 50-34. And then with Classified, it gives you a virtual small gear, so the smaller chainring. So we've got a virtual 34, which is the ratio of the 0.7 deductor for the other gear. As I said, I will get into the more technical side of Classified on a separate video rather than this one. So I will show you Classified in a second on the rear wheel, because that's where it actually is. So we've basically got, as I said, 50 real chainring with a 34 virtual chainring. And then to upset any roadies out there, if I've not upset you enough already, because it's got GRX group set on it, it's got XTR SPD pedals as well, instead of SPD SL. Doesn't have any of those. It's got the SPDs, and then we do run the rubber end caps even on the road bike, because things hitting the cranks are I mean, it's just bad. I don't want the cranks to get scratched and damaged on the ends, so putting those little rubber ends are pretty cool. And also we can get them in different colours, which you've probably seen on my cyclocross bike, which looks pretty funky. I also actually run the Narwhal on this bike as well, just for security. If you hit a pothole, anything sort of goes wrong, and you're just unlucky for whatever reason, a combination of how you're pedaling, you hit something on the road or whatever, and then if you threw your chain off on your beautifully painted forwards one, you would absolutely shred the paintwork up. So I just have it on for precaution on any 1x bike, really. I think it looks pretty cool on there. I don't think it looks out of place. So that's what I run on mine, and that's definitely what I recommend for customers having a one assembled, because I think that's just a bit of precaution there. So that's the front end of it. So as I said, GRX rear mech, so Di2 rear mech, and this is the non-wide ratio. So this is the close ratio version of the mech. And then you can see the block I've got on it. So this is actually a one-piece machined Classified rear cassette. I'll show you that in a second. And I've got an 1130 on this one. So 1130, which would give me a 34 small chain ring to 30 for my climbing gear, or a 50 to 11 for my sort of top end gear. And then the Classified hub is hidden down inside there. We definitely need to do a video about Classified, but the long and short of it, there is some magic inside this hub, which is controlled electronically. I will show you how that works, and it changes the gearing on the bike by 0.7%. Not 0.7%, sorry. So by 0.7. So 0.7 of your large chainring is what your virtual chainring would be. So kind of think about this as it's got two gears in there, and then that's what does the shifting. Classified will be getting upset with me for that poor explanation. So you have a special skewer which or through axle, which has got electronics in it, and then this is what sends a pulse into the hub to change the rear hub gear. And then you have a small sender unit on the end of your handlebar, so just here. And then you have a trigger shifter just there, so that's like a sprint shifter. So when you press the sprint shifter, you'll see the light up there. That sends a signal to the axle, and you'll see a light just shining there. And then I don't know if you can hear on the camera, that's the internal gear changing. So I'll do a proper video. I'll do probably a playlist on the Forwards YouTube channel with all the classified stuff, because it is just mind-bendingly cool. But that is the classified system in the worst explanation possible. So I'll do a better one. So sorry about that. So that's it. So the bike is basically a 1x 22. So it's got 22 gears. Everything functions exactly as you'd expect it would with a front mechanism, but far faster, with all the reliability of having no front mechanism, just running the 1x system. Brake wise, has GRX calipers, so the 810 calipers front and back. And then on the road bike, I'm running a 140mm XTR/Dura race rotor. And the classified system comes with its own wheels. So this particular bike is built up with the CF50 aero wheels. So that's what that's got on it. And it also has the Vittoria Corso next tyres, and I'm running 700 by 30 on there. No tyre liners on this as yet, but we have got some of the air liners in to test on it. So those ones we will actually test, but we're not doing that quite yet. So these are set up tubeless. That's how they're running. And that's probably everything I need to cover, because I've been going on for far too long. I'm looking at the timer there. The timer's moved on. So if there's anything else you wanted to know, let me know. One thing I will just cover real quick, the bottom bracket on this one is the concept bike, same as James's, but the production models will have the BSA 68 bottom bracket shell in there. These have got token adapters in there, so if any frames were to come through with the BB86, we would put adapters in them. But the idea for the production models is they have BSA 68 in. So this has got parallel bottom bracket because we've got an adapter to screw together instead of relying on the BB86. So that's how that's done. Crank arms are 170 if anyone's interested, across all my bikes. And that's probably it. So that's all we need to know. Handlebar is a 42 wide. Stem length I've covered. I think that's it. I've ranted on long enough. The video is going to be nearly 20 minutes long. I'm not even sure if anyone's watching still. Thanks for coming and watching another video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Oh yeah, it's me again. End of the credit video. I forgot to weigh it, didn't I? So let's pop it onto the scales. Let's see what it weighs. 8.87 kilos. That's with the pedals on, bottle cages, computer mount, sensors, and anything else that might be there with your guide and stuff as well. Use the Exos sensors as well, by the way. I find they've been really good. Thanks very much. Bye.